Bum 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 bum. With the first pick in the Beat the Bookie draft, Adam Hipsky's ghost selects Ian Nicholas to beat the bookie ahead of the greatest event of the NFL offseason. It is time for the 2025 draft, but before you watch the coverage in Green Bay, I gotta give you the playbook on how to make a little money on this 3-day festival of fun where some guys are about to get super rich on the field and you're gonna get super rich off of it. And of course, you came to me for the advice, not to our last challenger of the bookie, Adam Cohen. 23 bucks in the drain. I mean, this guy's from North Jersey. That is prime lacrosse country, and he failed. I mean, did he really have? He had Carolina beating Notre Dame. I'm not going to lie, I did too. So you know what, Adam? I don't blame that for being your biggest loss. You only won 2 bets, though. 3 futures, Adam? Adam, there's no guarantee you'll be alive in 3 days. There's no guarantee I'll be alive in 3 days. We got to live in the present, bro. I mean, come on, make some bets. He didn't. So as you look at the semester leaderboard, you know my guy, my day one, Skylar Wilkes, still standing pretty at the top. I haven't seen any of that money, by the way. I mean, I live with a guy, and he'll barely give me a ride across campus. I haven't seen any of that $250. Shout out to Sean Wharton, though. Peter Elliott, Luke Burgess still sitting in second place for what they did predicting the Masters, and I don't even see ACO anywhere around here. I mean, Cohen, you're so washed, bro. You're nowhere to be found. Anyways, it's time for me to insert myself at the top of these standings. Here are my picks for the NFL draft. Show me the money! Show me the money! We start in Carolina, where the Panthers have been awful since Cam Superman Newton left town. But it seems like they do have their franchise quarterback, Bryce Young, returned from the dead after getting benched for the Red Rifle in the middle of last season. And Dave Canales is hot. No, he's just like a really attractive dude. And he knows how to coach offense. So let him stick with Bryce Young, develop him, and Xavier Legette. Love that guy. They've got enough offensively. They need to invest in the trenches. Derek Brown is a phenomenal nose tackle, but he's got no help to free him up. So with their first pick, the Carolina Panthers are guaranteed to take an edge rusher. I think it will be Georgia's Jalen Walker, who reminds me of Jadeveon Clowney, who, I had to go to Wikipedia for this one, apparently he's on the Panthers. And apparently he was good last year. But, Carolina was so bad you didn't even know. Anyways, who better than one former athletic freak in Jadeveon to teach another former athletic freak and a Georgia Bulldog how to really play in the NFL? And if it's not Walker, I think maybe even Boston College's Donovan Ezeraku. Yeah, I know ball. Donovan Ezeraku, if they trade back a few picks, he'll probably be there in the teens. Carolina, $10 on it. They're taking an edge rusher with their first pick. Next, you know what? Let's keep it in the SEC. I was talking about Jalen Walker, his Georgia Bulldogs. Obviously, they usually run the SEC. The SEC pretty much runs the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles, everyone's giving Howie Roseman all this credit for winning a Super Bowl. All the guy does is draft SEC players. I could do that. I do that on my couch playing Madden Connected Franchise. Anyways, 15 players are not getting drafted out of the SEC in the first round. Do you see that? The over-under for SEC players to be drafted in the first round is 14.5. Last year, the conference tied the record for the most of any first round in terms of players selected from the conference with 11. We're going to go from 11 to 15? Really? The SEC didn't even win the national championship this year. Unfortunately, Ryan Day, Mr. Growing Up on Third Base, had to win. So, getting back to my point, when you have Ian on your show, it's not going to be on the wheels. It's going to be off the wheels. $15 on less than 15 SEC players getting drafted in the first round. But you know what? You came to this show because when you're watching the draft tonight, you want to get excited about the guys who are getting picked, or you want to root on some people's downfalls and hope they slide. Because I'm a hater. Tyler Aiken thinks he's the biggest hater. I'm the biggest hater in student media at Syracuse. I have always been. But you know what? I do have a compassionate side. I love great storytelling. Why Newhouse, right? And here's why I think we have a great storyline out of Happy Valley. Abdul Carter and Tyler Warren. All-Americans on both sides of a football. Warren at tight end, Carter at edge rusher. Both of them are going to get drafted in the top 10. And you put $20 on that, because I told you to. It's minus odds, so I'm not like reinventing the wheel here. But it's a near lock. I mean, literally, Abdul Carter said it yesterday, that he was going to go to the Giants. He just told the media, yeah, I'm going to New York. So he's going to the New York Giants at 3. He's going to save my lowly team. And then Tyler Warren, I don't know. I mean, the worst team in North Jersey might draft him, the Jets. I mean, they have a lot of other needs. They don't even have a quarterback. Justin Fields? I mean, that guy can't throw the ball 10 yards down the field. So get you a tight end who can catch all the out routes and the slants, and Tyler Warren. Or maybe the Colts. The Colts, you know what? They have a lot of problems. But, Tyler Warren's like Jack Doyle, only if he had beautiful flowy hair and was just good at life. I mean, Jack Doyle was like a total nerd. And this Warren guy, he strikes fear in opponents. He's going in the top 10, both these guys are. Put $20 on it. But again, I know why you came to beat the bookie. Where are the quarterbacks going? We know Cam Ward's going number 1. Jackson Dart, not Shedeur Sanders. The Ole Miss Rebel. The new Elijah Manning. He's going to be the second quarterback off the board. He's gotten a lot of hype over these last few weeks. He has crushed the offseason. He is one of the most productive passers in SEC history. Even though I don't think that conference is going to get 15 players or more drafted in the first round, I still know it's the best conference consistently in the country. Lane Kiffin's an offensive wizard. I think this guy's the new Baker Mayfield, but more mobile, less fat. I mean, this guy is an absolute rocket slinging that thing all over the yard. Pause. $10 on Jackson Dart being the second quarterback off the board. And that brings me to my final point on my best bets. Shedeur Sanders. This guy thinks he's already his father. He's closer to Shiloh than he is to Deion. He is not going to be the second quarterback off the board, and I don't even think he's going in the top 20. Everybody thinks that, well, surely he won't slip past Pittsburgh at 21. I mean, they had to re-sign Mason Rudolph. That's how desperate Mike Tomlin is getting. But I don't even think desperate old Mike is going to draft Shedeur Sanders. Nobody wants to touch this guy right now. Apparently, he is one of the most arrogant prospects we've seen in a long time. And I get it. He's been accomplished. He brought Jackson State to relevance. He brought Colorado back into relevance. But I don't think he has the tools that make his ego worth managing and Deion's ego worth managing. NFL teams are really starting to see that this offseason. And I think he might not even go in the first round as a result of the propaganda machine that brought him to prominence, but is also going to tear him down and make him a day 2 pick. Maybe he slips in at the end of a first round, but he's definitely not going before 21, which is where that line is. So that's why you got to put $20 on Shedeur Sanders, not going that high. Now let's take a little pause from this year's NFL draft to tell you about my future bet, which stays in the world of college football because I used to be a producer here at this station. I know what a good segue looks like. Jeremiah Smith is the best player in college football. Everybody knows it. He would have been a top 5 pick in this year's draft. He couldn't declare because he was only a freshman. He had over 1,300 yards as a freshman. And Will Howard was his quarterback. I mean, Jordan Leonard throws the ball better than Will Howard. That's my second Jay Leno stray of the night. If there was a prop on that, I'm smashing it by the end of the show. Great beard though, Jordan. Anyways, back to the young gun Jeremiah. He's winning the Heisman next year. Put $10 on it. I know Arch Manning, Cade Klubnik, Nico Iamaleava, I lost $1 million+. That's actually his full name, look it up. I'll edit his Wikipedia later. Jeremiah Smith, he's winning a Heisman. He might even win 2 before it's all said and done, because he still has 2 years before he can declare. Looking at some other future bets. Who the heck is Broom Wooden Award? Skylar, come on, Janai Broom stinks. There's a lot of words on the screen, and I didn't do well on the SAT. But again, I go down to 9, 10, and 11. Cohen. I mean, what do we do? The Mets, okay, I get it. His whole life is the Mets. Avs Stanley Cup. I mean, when's the Stanley Cup? Like eons from now? Lakers winning the chip. Their best player doesn't even want to be there. Luka Doncic wants to be back in Dallas, Adam. Come on. My bet's going to cash. You're going to have to wait a little bit on it, but it will certainly cash. Speaking of more money, what's my parlay looking like? The first leg of my 3-leg parlay. I was a lineman, by the way, so pretty silky mitts there. First leg starts back in the SEC with Jahad Campbell and Gray Zabel. What do these two guys have to do with each other? An Alabama linebacker and a North Dakota State interior offensive lineman that might get drafted in the top 20? I'm sorry. If I'm an NFL general manager, I'm not drafting an FCS offensive lineman over an SEC linebacker. And I can't believe you can bet on this kind of stuff. But you can. Apparently, Zabel has better odds to get drafted higher in the first round than Campbell. And again, if I'm sitting in that war room, I'm not fighting regardless of how much of a generational. He could be Ali Marpet on performance-enhancing drugs. I'm not drafting him in the top 15, but I am drafting this mutant-looking man. I mean, look at that. He's showing off the abs. He's got the arm sleeve. He's got the drip. He's got the production. That's going to hit. Second leg of my parlay, I got another big-time player and a name that everybody has to know. I mean, he's got practically tenure at Ohio State. Emeka Egbuka. He's been so productive in the slot for them for years, but it's a really deep receiver class. Not a lot of high-end talent. I mean, I know you think of Travis Hunter, you'll think of Tat McMillan. I mean, these are guys that are going to get drafted in front of Egbuka. So currently, there's a little bit of a decision point here, right? Do you think he's going to go in the top 30 or not? I think not. He's not super athletic. I mean, he's like 30 years old. He's not 30 years old, but he's been at Ohio State for like 4 years. It feels like he's been there since JT Barrett was throwing the ball. So you know what? I think Egbuka is going to be a really solid slot receiver in the NFL for years to come, but you are not paying a premium pick on a wide receiver, especially in this draft. They grow on trees. So I think Egbuka is going to go outside the top 30. My final leg of a parlay sees the Miami Dolphins try to protect Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, look, this guy is a walking injury. And on a serious note, yeah, they need to protect the guy. They've invested millions of dollars into Tua, and unfortunately, he just keeps getting hurt. He's had a lot of concussions, right? You got to try to protect this guy. The Dolphins have one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL, both in run blocking and pass blocking. So with their first pick in the draft, I have them investing in the trenches. And by the way, one of the strengths of this draft is how good the offensive line is. So they're going to have to use a pick on an offensive lineman, and I think they're going to do it in the first round. Teron Armstead, their star left tackle, he just retired, so I think they're going to try to pick up a tackle in the first round. So this is my parlay. I got Jahad Campbell getting drafted in front of Gray Zabel. I have Emeka Egbuka going outside the top 30, and I have the Miami Dolphins picking an offensive lineman with their first selection in the draft. This 3-leg parlay, it's going to make you rich, $233, and you only got to put in 15 buckaroos. That's a lot of money. I'm winning you a lot of money today. You're welcome. But again, for all my money-making brilliance, let's recap what we've done here. So going back to my best bets, the Panthers, put $10 on them taking an edge rusher or a defensive lineman with their first pick. The SEC is not getting 15 players or more drafted in the first round. That's why you gotta put $15 on that. Abdul Carter and Tyler Warren, Penn State teammates, both of them are gonna go in the top 10. You gotta put 20 bones on that. And then Jackson Dart, not Shadur Sanders, is gonna be the second quarterback off the board, plus 225 odds on that. We're getting frisky. And we're gonna couple it, right, with Shadur going outside of the top 21 picks in the draft. Again, another risk. We're diving into the deep end here on Beat the Bookie. Jeremiah Smith is my future bet to win the Heisman next year as a sophomore, because he's just that good. And then my parlay that certainly I did all by myself because I'm a big boy. I'm just joking, Jordan did it for me. Ha ha! Blame it on Jordan if it doesn't cash. $15 for Campbell before Zabel in the first round. Egbuka not going in the top 30. And the Dolphins securing some offensive line help for their feeble quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. Who would have thought this would be my final show at CitrusTV? The best show at the station. Psych, that's College Eats. See you later, fools. Ian Nicholas out.